22-year-old Akia Eggleston of Baltimore, Maryland, was a single mother of a toddler and 8 months pregnant at the time of her disappearance. She was last seen on May 3, 2017. A friend of hers told authorities that she had taken Akia to the bank and then dropped her back home that afternoon. Akia's baby shower was scheduled for that Sunday, May 7th. Her family and friends became worried when she didn't show up. They immediately went to the police and filed a missing persons report. The police did not initially expect foul play because when they went to her home to do a welfare check, it appeared she had moved because all of her things except a bed and a dresser were gone. However, her stepfather knew things weren't adding up because Akia had a high-risk pregnancy and was placed on bed rest by her doctor. There was no way she could have removed all of her belongings without help. Her family was not even aware that she had any plans to move. Akia's best friend did come forward and inform the family that Akia planned to move into a new apartment with her unborn child's father. The identity of the baby's father was initially unknown to the family. It was later revealed that he was a childhood friend of her stepfather's. The newly discovered baby father did not participate in any of the searches and refused to speak to Akia's stepfather and family about her disappearance. However, he did speak with police on several occasions. It does not appear that he is a suspect at this point. It's been 4 years and Akia is still missing. Lakira Goldsmith, a mother of one, went missing at the tender age of 20. She was last seen on November 27, 2018 at about 2 a.m. by the maintenance worker at her apartment complex on Narrow Lane Road in Montgomery, Alabama. She had just arrived back home that night from an outing with her boyfriend. Her grandmother, whom she shared an apartment with, actually saw Lakira getting out of her boyfriend's car, but doesn't recall hearing her enter their home. The maintenance man stated that Lakira asked to use his cell phone. He stepped away to give her privacy, but by the time he returned, Lakira was nowhere in sight. The only thing left behind was his cell phone. That was the last time Lakira was seen or heard from. Lakira was known to be very active on social media and communicated often with her family and friends. When no one could reach her by phone or Facebook, Lakira's mom, Marshall, filed a missing persons report. Unfortunately, the police were slow to act. By the time they started their investigation and pulled the security footage from her apartment complex, no evidence was found. Sadly, the footage from that night had already been recorded over, leaving investigators with little to no clues about Lakira's whereabouts. 3 years later, Lakira is still missing. There have been no updates provided to the public. Lauren Tamula was a 29-year-old mother of a 5-year-old daughter when she went missing. She was involved in a car accident when she was younger and was subsequently placed on a pain management program. This led to a struggle with substance abuse in which she overcame. Prior to her disappearance, she was sober for about 2 years and in the process of attempting to reclaim custody of her daughter. On June 18, 2020, she was captured on a convenience store security camera applying for a job. Nothing appeared to be out of the ordinary. The following day, June 19th, her boyfriend Gabriel Pena, with whom she resided with in the Coronado Parkway Apartments in Cape Coral, Florida, called Lauren's dad to inform him that she wasn't home and the last time he seen her was in bed when he left for work at 6 a.m. Her sister had also tried to reach her by phone that day with no response. Earlier that day, a maintenance worker said that he spoke to Lauren and she had asked about nearby apartments for rent. She was coming from the direction of a park she visited frequently called Four Freedoms Park. As days passed, including Father's Day, her family became concerned. A couple days later, on June 21st, her boyfriend filed a missing persons report. The family then learned that someone found her purse unattended at Four Freedoms Park and turned it over to police. As authorities started to search for Lauren, they also found her shirt and shoes at the same park her purse was discovered. In the same month that Lauren disappeared, she was Baker Acted twice. The Baker Act is a Florida law that enables families and loved ones to provide emergency mental health services and temporary detention for people who are impaired because of their mental illness and who are unable to determine their needs for treatment. The first time was due to an incident that occurred at that same Four Freedoms Park. This information was revealed by Lauren's father and sister on a recently aired episode of Dr. Phil. It's been a year and a half now, and Lauren still has not been found. 35-year-old mom of three, Tiffany Stokes Foster, was last seen on March 1st, 2021. She left her daughter and fiancé at home that afternoon while she ran errands. By nightfall, no one heard from Tiffany, which was unusual since she was known to exchange texts and calls with her family daily. Her mother grew concerned and reported her missing. In the following days, Tiffany was due at work, school, and even had a booked trip to Texas, but she did not show up for that either. There was no reason for Tiffany to abandon her family and obligations. She was so passionate about her career in corrections and was even a few months shy of graduating from Georgia Military College with a degree in criminal justice. Not to mention, she was a dedicated mom as well. A few days after she disappeared, her 2020 Nissan Maxima was found abandoned in College Park, which was about 30 miles away from her home. Her keys, purse, and debit card were left behind in her car. A couple weeks later, her fiancé, Reginald Robertson, was arrested for moving her car to College Park. He was then rearrested in late April for a previous incident where he kidnapped and assaulted Tiffany. Apparently, they had reconciled because they were living together at the time of her disappearance. It's been 10 months and Tiffany Stokes Foster is still missing. There is currently a $60,000 reward being offered for her safe return. April Jean Bailey was 37 years old when she went missing. She was last seen on the evening of January 15, 2020, as she was leaving her Lynn Street apartment in Nashua, New Hampshire, just to take out the trash. It was very cold, so she was dressed accordingly in a fur-trimmed jacket, pajama pants, and slippers. She left behind her purse and cell phone, which indicated she was planning to dump the trash and retreat back inside her home. Unfortunately, she did not. April is a mother of three, with the oldest being in their 20s. She has a history of substance abuse, but it's reported that she was sober at the time of her disappearance. It's been almost 2 years and she is still missing. The last update to the public on this case was around March of 2021. If you have any information on the cases featured, please reach out to the respective police departments. You can also find some of the information in the description box below. So, what do you think happened to these missing moms? Did they go missing on their own free will, or is someone else responsible for their disappearances? Drop down in the comments below and let me know what you think. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You can support me and my channel by hitting the like button, subscribing, and sharing this video with your family and friends. With that being said, y'all be aware and stay safe out there.